Harbor Command. Starring Wendell Corey as Captain Ralph Baxter. Alert at all times to enforce the laws of our maritime code, the Harbor Command is trained to combat every type of criminal. It is an organization designed to protect our harbors. These are the stories of the men who have dedicated their lives to that end. The harbor, vast, huge, bustling with the activity of everyday living, pulsating with humdrum arrival and departure of ships and people. Passengers arriving from foreign ports are within the protection of the Harbor Command, and their actions, if criminal, are within its jurisdiction. When the SS Ventura tied up at Pier 10 on September 4th, she carried 50 passengers. Among these were 2 men who carried stolen jewels which they were attempting to smuggle into the United States. One of these men was Robert Bolton, occupying stateroom 20 on B deck.
Did anyone see you at the door?
No, don't worry.
We're on the boat for days without looking at each other. 5 minutes before we go ashore, you're here. Why?
Relax, nobody saw me. Is Carp meeting you?
He'll be coming aboard with the rest of the porters to pick up baggage. When he gets a chance, he'll slip in here.
You know, $250,000 is quite a lot to turn over to a stranger, even for a couple of hours.
I've worked with him before. We know where he works. We know where he lives. Now, everything's under control. You leave Carp to me.
Maybe I better meet you at the cafe.
You wait for me at the airport. Now, go on.
Where is it? I gotta get back to the luggage.
Don't misplace them. They're worth $250,000.
It'll take us a couple hours to unload. I'll meet you at Frank's Cafe around noon.
In exchange for that bag, you get your 1,000.
Hey, wait a minute. I got 1,000 for the last job. This is worth 5 times more.
That's it. 1,000.
Yeah? Well, then get somebody else to take it through customs.
Look, you don't back out now.
That's how it always is. You take the big money and I take the big chances.
Carp completed his duties as porter in the unloading of the ship. Since the passengers were all ashore and customs had completed its inspection, the pier was quiet.
Oh, hi, Leo. All through for the day?
The baggage is off, I'm through.
How many people have been in here since he was found, Mr. McCord?
Well, after the steward found him, just me, the doc.
Who is he?
His name is Robert Bolton. Here's his immigration form. Last previous European address, Paris, France.
American address, Gary, Indiana. Occupation, writer. Hazardous occupation. Never heard of him, you know. Face looks familiar.
Discoloration on the neck.
It's a painful but quiet way to go. The motivation wasn't robbery. How many passes you carry?
50.
Crew?
You'll find a crew list in there, too. 72.
Well, he could have been killed after the gangplank went down. Jim, get a list of all the stevedores and porters who could have come on board. Sergeant will take about 2 hours. Bolton. Face is familiar. Anything reach me headquarters.
Well, what do you say? Well?
Where did you get it, Leo?
I told you, an uncle of mine. Isn't it worth anything?
Well, that's the trouble. It's worth too much. That uncle of yours must be a millionaire.
Well, he ain't exactly poor. What's it worth, 1,000?
You couldn't touch that for 5,000.
Then what do you give me for it?
What uncle is it, Leo?
What do you mean? You don't think I'm lying, do you?
Did you find this in the cabin?
I'm telling you.
Look, they'll be looking for this. You better bring it back.
Nobody will be looking for it. Nobody.
It's too big for me to handle.
Look, I'm not asking you 5,000. Make me an offer.
Well, try somebody else.
You talk like it was hot. You won't get any kickback on this.
Get one of the bigger men. Maybe he can afford to handle it.
Okay, if that's how you want it. But you're losing a good deal. And the ring ain't hot.
You got all the longshoremen and 9 porters?
Johnson.
Yes, sir. Okay, hold on. Warren's rounded up all the longshoremen and about half the porters.
Tell him I'll be right over.
Hold them all. Captain will be right over.
Take a look at those.
Well, what do you know?
No wonder he looked familiar. He's got a record all over the world. Get me Haley at Customs, please. Robert Bolton, alias Rodney Baker, alias Rudolph Brooke, jewel thief, smuggler, last European address, Paris. Pull his files, send a cable, criminal rush to all the European capitals. Let's find out what they know about him.
Yes, sir.
Haley? Now, you're probably holding the luggage of a Robert Bolton who came in on the SS Ventura this morning. Yeah, he's the one who's found dead. Well, there may be a smuggling angle here. I'd like to take a look at his luggage, too. All right, I'll meet you there. See you on Pier 26. All right.
United Airlines Flight 630, now departing from Gate 2 on the West Concourse.
John Pickett, unaware that his Confederate was dead, waited for him at the international airport. When an hour beyond the appointed time had passed, Pickett decided to find out what had happened.
Will passenger William Fareed please report to the United Airlines information counter?
Knowing that Bolton was to have met Leo Karp in order to get back the smuggled jewelry, Pickett drove to Frank's Cafe. After his initial failure to sell the smuggled ring, Leo Karp approached 3 other pawn shop operators in an effort to dispose of it. In each case, he found that the jewelry he had taken was of such great value that the pawnbrokers were afraid to touch it. Karp found himself in possession of a fortune, which was proving to be a white elephant.
Hi. What'll it be?
As a matter of fact, I'm just looking for someone.
Oh, you don't have to order anything. Make yourself at home.
Say, haven't seen a man in here about medium size wearing a dark blue suit, felt hat, and... I suppose I'm describing about half your customers.
I was just going to say so.
Supposed to meet a porter in here, one of the men who work at the piers. Karp.
Leo. Sure, I know him. He eats here all the time, but he hasn't shown up today.
He hasn't been in the last hour or two.
I've been here every minute.
Thanks. Thanks very much.
Pickett decided to call Robert Bolton at the steamship company. He then learned that Bolton had been murdered. Pickett knew that only one person had reason to commit the murder, Leo Karp.
Yes, sir. I had to go by number 20 on B deck, but I didn't go inside. All I done was pick up the luggage from M to P at the end of the gangway.
Who worked B deck with you?
Evans and Donner, you just talked to them.
You see anybody else on B deck?
No, sir, just Evans and Donner.
Thank you very much. You can wait outside.
Yes, sir.
If Bolton was trying to slip anything in, it wasn't in his luggage.
I didn't find anything on him at the morgue.
How about the porter who took the bags out from the stateroom?
Says the last time he saw him, Bolton was alive, and he's got a witness to confirm it.
Some guy claiming to be Bolton's brother just called in, but he hung up before you could put a trace on it. I've checked out all the stevedores, and the union's very anxious to cooperate.
Baxter speaking.
On the Bolton case, a medical examiner's report shows death by strangulation. Time of death could have been after or before the boat docked, as much as 3 hours before.
What about the fingerprints in the cabin?
Well, I have men who are still trying to classify them. They found only partials.
I'll tell him to keep at it. Well, he could have been killed before the ship docked. That leaves us 72 crewmen and 50 passengers to question. What about the porters?
Well, we still got half a dozen to go. With Adams, Burt, Canby, George, Gray, and Carr.
Captain Baxter pressed the questioning of each crew member of the SS Ventura who might have been on B deck during the 3 hours prior to docking. With the help of First Officer McCord, most of the men were quickly eliminated as possible suspects.
He was with me for 5 hours before docking in the wheelhouse.
All right, thanks. That'll be all. Baxter speaking.
Ed, on the Bolton case, on cable request to European police, Amsterdam replies as follows. Your fingerprint classification for Robert Bolton, same as ours for Rudolph Brook, is suspect in recent jewel thefts together with Jules Picard, alias Jacques Picot. Both men thought to have departed Amsterdam for Paris.
Now, hold on, Johnson.
Bolton had a chum, Picard, Jules Picot.
I wonder if they could have sailed together. Let me see that list. Picard, Picot, Pace, Palfrey, Park, Pickett, Phillips, Pickett. Jules, Picard, J.P., John Pickett, J.P., Picard, Picot, Piquet, Pickett. That's a long shot, but it might be the same man. Did you know what Pickett on board?
No.
Get the steward who took care of Pickett's cabin. Also find the porter who took his luggage out. Johnson?
Yes, sir?
Did Amsterdam cable a description of this Picard, Picot?
Negative.
Request one right away.
Yes, sir?
Here's the man who took Pickett's bags through customs.
Oh, yes, Zeus. We were on M through P on B deck. Do you remember Pickett, Mr. John Pickett?
Oh, Mr. Pickett? Sure. He gave me $2. A nice-looking guy in a brown suit with a light tie and a Panama hat and a little feather about that big. He went to the airport.
Well, how do you know he went to the airport?
How do I know? I put him in the cab. Nice-looking guy like that gives you a couple of bucks. You don't forget easy.
You take a look around Pickett's cabin. Thanks a lot. That helps. I'm going out to the airport.
Carp?
Yeah, I'm Carp.
We got business to talk about.
What kind of business? You're not a cop.
No, I'm not a cop.
Then get lost.
It'll only take a minute
Look,
for you to give me back what you took from Bolton. Bolton was my partner until you killed him.
What are you talking about? I didn't kill him.
Shall we talk it over?
Okay. Come on.
United Airlines Flight 710 now departing from Gate 4 on the East Concourse.
If Pickett had taken a long flight, there was a chance of stopping him en route. Inquiry at the ticket counter by Captain Baxter revealed that a man answering Pickett's description had made reservations for himself and a Robert Bolton, but that the plane had taken off without either man. It was now a fair probability that Pickard and Pickett were the same man. The luggage clerk remembered having checked 3 bags for a man with a Panama hat. He even remembered the feather in it and was able to identify the bags.
7020 to headquarters.
Go ahead, 7020.
I'm at International Airport. Want immediate stakeout at the United Airlines counter. Be on the lookout for a man calling himself Picot. Wanted in the Bolton case. Send closest unit. 10-4.
10-4.
The initials JP made the identification certain. Further, the clerk remembered that Pickett had left the building after leaving his luggage. That Pickett had checked his luggage could mean that he had left the airport. One possibility was that he had taken a cab. Airport cab drivers were permitted to carry fares only from the airport and had to return immediately to their stations. Baxter questioned the drivers. The first 2 were certain they hadn't carried a man with a Panama hat, but the third cabbie remembered both the Panama and the feather. A quick look at his waybill showed that he had taken the man to Frank's Cafe. Baxter radioed detailed instructions to the officer arriving to stake out Pickett's luggage. Then he followed Pickett's trail to Frank's Cafe.
But I've told you everything I know. He was dead when I got to his cabin.
And I'm telling you, you're the only one that had reason to kill Bolton, to keep the gems.
Yeah, but I never got him.
Well, the police believe that when I...
Police? No, you can't call them. They'd ask you a few questions.
Oh, I don't know. There's always the anonymous phone call to put them on the right track.
Yeah? Well, then I'll spill what I know about you.
What do you know about me? That I crossed on the SS Ventura? Did I carry any gems or try to smuggle them through custom? No, cop. Let's consider you and the penalty for murder.
Okay. Okay. Suppose I give you the jewels. How much do I get?
Why, cop, you get your life.
I'm talking about money.
And I'm talking about seeing you hanged.
Yeah, but I ought to get something.
Sure. What I'm willing to pay?
Nothing?
Nothing. Cop, you got $250,000 worth of my property. I want it. Where is it?
On the pier. I was afraid to take them off.
Where on the pier?
Near the end.
All right, we'll go and get them. You walk ahead and I'll follow. And, cop, I'll see you at the end of the pier.
The changeable weather certainly didn't make things easier for Captain Baxter on this case.
Yes, sir? Been no trouble here.
I'm looking for a man about 5'10", wearing a medium brown suit, light tie, his mustache, wearing a Panama hat, broad brim with a red feather in the band. Anybody like that?
Couldn't miss that Panama, especially with the feather. Yeah, he was in here about an hour ago looking for Leo Cobb.
The porter?
That's right.
Where'd he go?
Leo?
No, the man in the Panama hat.
After Leo, I think.
Where can I find Leo?
Well, that I can tell you. Either here, home, or at the pier. Leo don't have much of a life.
Any idea where he lives?
Sure. Newton Place. 127 Newton.
127 Newton. Thank you very much. 7020 to headquarters.
Headquarters by?
I'm en route to Carp's residence, 127 Newton Place. Possibility picket there. Have nearest unit meet me at that address, 10-4.
10-4.
Hiya, Leo. Thought you were through for the day.
I am, but I forgot something.
How about that murder on B-deck? It sure is something, huh?
Yeah, sure is.
Finding neither Carp nor Pickett at the Newton Place address, Captain Baxter left Officer Turner there and proceeded to Pier 10 to see if there was anything more definite to be learned about Leo Carp's whereabouts.
Hello there.
Something I can do for you?
Well, I came in on the Ventura this morning. I'm sure I left a package in my cabin. All right if I go aboard?
You got something to show?
Oh, of course. Cabin reservation. Custom declaration.
Okay, Mr. Pickett. Hope you find a package.
Thank you.
Hello, Captain.
Hi, Hank. You seen a porter by the name of Leo Carp?
Just went up the pier a couple of minutes ago.
Is he alone?
Yeah, why?
Has anyone been asking for him since he came on duty?
No.
A fellow in a white Panama hat.
Panama hat. A fellow by the name of Pickett, you mean?
He been here?
Yeah, he said he left a package on the boat.
Got an idea he's looking for Carp, not for a package. Hank, would you call Harbor Command, tell them to send assistance? Code 2.
Right away,
Oh,
Captain.
Hank.
Yes, sir.
Stay in your shed. They'll send the help I need. You're not going to pay me anything?
Did you deliver as agreed?
But at least about Bolton. No phone call to the cops. After all, I didn't mean to kill him.
I've got the gems. I don't want any more trouble.
Don't move! Turn around, put your hands where I can see you. I'll take this.
Easy with that gun, my friend. I'll cause you no trouble.
Well, stay put. You can't get off the pier anyway.
Get the other side of the warehouse. Leo, what's going on?
Get out of my way.
Throw out your gun! Come down from there.
I didn't mean to kill him.
Come on.
Jim.
Captain, this is Pickett.
Pickett, Picard, Picot?
Correct, Captain.
Jewel thief and murderer?
Jewels, perhaps. Murder, never.
Shall we go?
The harbors of our nation are a constant lure to criminals. It is the duty of the Harbor Command to combat those criminals, to protect the lives and property of our citizens. This is Wendell Corey inviting you to join us for another exciting episode.
The harbor, gateway to the world. Underlying the everyday activity of the ships that come and go there remains the danger, intrigue, and excitement of the world's largest ports, where stories of the Harbor Command are filmed authentically on actual locale.